So, well, I got some for you. Yeah. Figured you could crack that open in 30 years. Take a whiff. See what's what. We'll open it together. Yeah.
Hey, Percy.
Hey, Josh.
We are live on the test site.
Oh, so if I click on the live link that you attach, then I will see us.
Yeah, I posted it to a microsite, so like just a Google site.
Let
So
me
be
see.
careful with. I mean, it's a little bit weird, right? Since Google sites sometimes block for organization, but I got it
Yeah.
working in my private one. This is just a test. I don't think we'd put it on a Google site. We'd probably put it on a real site if we could.
I see.
It's broadcast to YouTube. I just embedded the YouTube link on the Google site.
Oh, I saw it. Okay, I see it already. It's so weird. Okay.
Yeah. There's a delay of like a minute and a half. So.
Yeah, there's like a delay. I think I'm going to use my phone for the live. It's so it seems you figured out a way.
Yeah, I did. I mean, this is just what you were talking about before about using OBS. I'm just using OBS to take a screen capture of my browser window. So the browser window is being sent to that site. Ooh, this would be a great test because I want to see what it looks like with two people.
Oh,
Lindsay,
cool.
we're broadcasting live to YouTube right now.
Hi, Josh. I'm Lindsay.
Hi. We talked on the phone, didn't we, about Handshake a couple months ago?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Having the three names, it's really helpful to remember who you are.
Thanks so much for all your help with this.
Yeah, no problem. This is a fun test. Oh, cool. It looks pretty good. I'm monitoring it on my phone right now. It's... So, Lindsay, I don't know if you saw in the description in there, but there's the a link to an SAIC Google site that I made
Yeah.
that has a YouTube link for the YouTube live stream of this conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I just clicked on that, so I think I'm working now. Yeah, I see Percy's face. I got it.
Yeah, there's a delay, so it's it'll probably switch to you shortly.
So it switches, like, based upon who's talking?
No, it's just the two people. It's it's because it's capturing my screen, it won't show me.
Okay.
So whoever would be there would need to be a non-viewer participant. So I think in the actual webinar, I would be attached, but as a non-verbal participant. So I'll just see the people talking in grid view, and that's it.
Are we going to try to put it on YouTube today?
It is on YouTube today. You're watching it on YouTube right now on your phone.
But because you said this is the link that you put it on, in the site Google, so only SAIC member can look at that.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? Wait, so this one right now on the link that you sent is also at YouTube right now?
Yes. Just like when you embed a YouTube video on like a Facebook page or Twitter or whatever. Hi, friend.
Okay, let me see. Okay.
Hey guys.
Ooh, it's smushing it really interestingly for me right now. This is gonna be it's a good test to see what it looks like with multiple people, right? Because you know, it's
Mhm.
tiled is on. I could switch it to spotlight, so then it just, if we switch talking, I don't know, but it's not switching your views right now, right? It's just my view that's changing.
Mm-hmm.
On the test site, Josh.
No, on the actual Hangouts session.
Yeah. So, Josh, since you're hosting, if you switch it, I see, on your end, then it switches what it looks like on this test site, right?
So the test site is like I'm using OBS to do a screen capture basically.
Okay.
So I literally have a custom a pre-sized version of Firefox set up that is just capturing everything from there and blasting it to YouTube. So,
Okay. I think it's working, Josh. I think you're right because I just shared the link to one of the other artists of the group, and she just tried and she said she can see the live, but just a little bit lag.
yeah, it's gonna be it's delayed. Like, you know, YouTube, you can change the settings for that, but YouTube Live is like a 2-minute delay. So you're gonna see all my tiling stuff just popped up as I'm changing the views. Like I said, it's you know, obviously you'd have to sort of set it and keep it that way. I have some other sizing options I can do here, so it's gonna get a little bit weird. So just bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
This is... So you'll see it change over in a second here. I guess like in a minute and a half. But I changed it so you can actually, so it's not zoomed in on it. You can actually see the browser tab. So we have some control. So, like, you know, Fran's head, as you noticed, was pretty smushed before. We'd probably want to set this how we want it. You know, I can still hide the bar, it just, it changes the size a little bit. So if I wanted to, you know, we could do something like that, and I could even add a, I say that, you'll see in like a minute, but there could be text at the bottom of it too that we can put an overlay that says like Site Gallery or something like that, or SAIC, or the name of the program or something.
I wonder, George, were you just moving around the window?
Yeah, I was. Well, I'm not moving around the window, I'm moving around the capture zone. So there's like a little, like a, you know, it's just like you could basically zoom in and you can move the sort of lens of what I'm capturing from the web browser. So I moved it to make it a little bit, I mean, I could do it better than that. I just did it quickly so it's not showing the top of the bar and it's showing Fran's full capture.
Wait, but I don't see any, oh, you say capture. I thought you said capture, and I'm sorry.
No. I can actually turn that on too, because it is just mine, so I'm going to turn on captions.
Turn on the caption?
Let me adjust the settings of this.
I know that live captions are a good idea. People are going to be seeing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I'll just do this right now as a testing of it, and we'll change it.
I don't know if Lindsay or Fran that you are actually on YouTube, but I am using the YouTube, and it looks like this right now, and it looks fine.
Yeah, I can see it.
And I can comment it. And I asked Winnie to join, and I think she is, following with that too. So let me try something.
Yeah, there's live chat, should be working right now for the, God, it's so distracting to talk when you can see your text. But, you know, the caption's sort of one way, right? So you can't see, as long as you guys don't have captioning turned on, you won't see it. Only I'll see it and the audience will see it. But the actual participants right now, as long as they don't turn it on, won't see the captions. They'll see it just as you guys
I see the
seeing
caption.
right now.
I see the caption too. Oh, this is great. It looks great. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh yeah, you can see my little head in the top now too.
And sorry, just to be clear, Josh. So I'm looking at this Be Water test site, which is not the YouTube link, right?
So,
Yes.
And the people who would be joining, would they be viewing through YouTube or through this micro test site?
it's your choice, right? If you wanted to be able to have like a custom URL that was a little bit cleaner and more, so people can load it up beforehand, have a splash site, they don't have to go to YouTube and that sort of thing.
Okay.
You could direct them to like a custom site, and then it's just, they can start playing. It'll show a thumbnail until it's ready.
Okay. And then the live chat that you were talking about, that's on the YouTube link?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, I mean, the YouTube link is on that microsite. It's just, like an embedded link. I didn't do anything. I just added a link to the YouTube video. Just like if you post like a YouTube video on Facebook or something like that.
Sure, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to figure out, when we say live chat, are we talking about the captions that's happening right now, or what does that mean?
No, in the actual YouTube, if you're if you're on the YouTube, if you've expanded it, you follow the link, you're not watching it just from the embedded link on the microsite, you're actually at YouTube, you will be able to chat with it there.
I see, okay, yeah.
Lindsay, I just test you a YouTube link directly to the live, so you just click on that, you will on the YouTube video. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I'm on YouTube now. Alright, so I'm just gonna say something. Oh, 15 minutes. Okay.
I don't have two monitors here, so I gotta move around a little bit. Yeah, okay, so let's play with the moderation of chat here a little bit. So, Lindsay, I don't like your text, so I'm gonna remove it. And let's see if I can lock it. Lindsay, I add you as a moderator now. If you, I don't know what that means exactly. This is all very new to me. I don't know. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube because I'm an idiot, but I don't never. I've uploaded one video in my life to YouTube, and that was just because I was bored at work one day.
Okay, so, since you added me now, Josh, as moderator, when I click on what Percy just sent, the message, I think we can do Q&A here, I can remove this post. So, Percy, I'm just going to try that for a second.
Okay.
And then it says, yeah. I guess Fran and Percy in the YouTube, do you see that the message Percy Lamb, message deleted by Lindsay Garlic Thornton?
Let me see. You mean at the YouTube?
At the YouTube, yeah. I'm just curious if everyone can see that I deleted that message, or just the person whose message it was.
No, I don't see it.
Fran, do you see that?
I'm working on it. My computer's really slow.
Do you also see Winnie's comment?
I can, yeah.
Winnie is on video. We can talk to her. Let's see.
And Josh, do you know if
Oh. Winnie just said that she can see you delete my message.
okay, she can.
Well,
It might be
Winnie's a
because she
moderator,
logged
that's
in
why.
She logged in as a SAIC account, which I am not, maybe.
Percy,
Yes.
Winnie is a moderator. That's why she can see that.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Oh,
There
why
you go.
she is the moderator?
I added her as a moderator for testing.
How?
Because I'm the
Anyways.
overlord of the, I'm the stream master.
Okay.
Josh,
Magic here. Okay, good.
so Josh, with this live chat, it would someone could only see it or engage in it if they follow the direct YouTube link and not on the microsite. If we did like a custom URL.
Yeah, they'd have to.
Is that
I mean, they'd have to. Just like if you see an embedded video, maybe you want to watch it in full screen or something like that. You can click the button and pop it out. I could probably do it with chat. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to see right now if I can limit who can chat. I don't really know if it's possible. There's not really a lot of options here. Oh, well, I did something now I can't figure out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't think there's really much that could be done about chat. I think it's just going to be open to whoever wants to, and then you can set up moderators that can watch it and be like, all right, you can't. Set a moderator that can remove inappropriate stuff, or just kind of try to encourage questions only or something like that. I don't know if there's a way to turn live chat on and off really quickly. Like if you could lock it and then unlock it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, wait a second. So, okay. Live chat should now be stopped for you guys.
Let me see. Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay, I'm gonna start it back up again.
Disable.
And then it should be back up now.
And how did you go to do that, Josh? Is that something that...
Yeah, this is just in my YouTube live. It's the YouTube Studio. You can sort of edit the settings. So I just turned off. I turned off the link to or the option for live chat. So it's possible that you could just have it closed for chunks of it and then turn it on for most of the meeting.
Okay.
Does Winnie want to join the actual Hangout session? Is that something that they'd be comfortable with?
Yeah, she can do that.
Let me see if I can just invite them.
Thank you, Josh.
Percy, would you mind chatting me their email address?
Let's see.
It's twong@saic.edu.
Yes. Correct.
Okay, I've added them to the invite, so if they're available... God, I have too many... And this would be really helpful to have two monitors when you're doing this. Not just one laptop on a coffee table.
Yeah. So, Josh, real quick, you being able to turn the chat on and off, is that something that I could do as moderator also, or is only you as host able to do that?
I think only me as host, but we wouldn't be using this. This is my personal Gmail account. It's not SAIC because it takes 24 hours to turn on the live stream start stuff.
Really helpful to have two monitors when you're doing
Winnie, can you mute your audio for?
I was like, I'm hearing Josh is going on and off.
Oh no, how do I do
as moderator also,
Thanks for joining. It's really helpful to see what it looks like with more participants on the live stream. I'm gonna cut off the captions and see what it bounces back to. I'll have to set up a couple of scenes in OBS to make sure it looks a little bit better than it does. But yeah, so whoever would be... I think we can have more than one person logged into the same YouTube account for it. I don't know if there's like a share setting or not, so to turn it off and turn it on. It might be best that like if we do this for the event, that I just turn it off and turn it on at a time, or I listen for someone to go, okay, now we're gonna open up chat. Let's do.
So you're saying that we can only open the chat when it's Q&A time?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I
Oh,
would suggest
sorry.
that.
But that could be a good option, I think, for us too. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise someone's gonna have to be looking and copying and pasting, the Q&A questions. They'll never be able to, if there's like 1,000, no, there's not gonna be 1,000 people, but for whatever reason, there's a ton of people in there chatting. You might lose the questions. They might be able to go back to when it's Q&A time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not going to be able to be offering Q&A for the entirety of the event, right? So.
No, yeah. And then, so something else I'm thinking through, Josh. So, okay, so it's Q&A time. We turn the chat on. Someone asks a question on the chat. Is there still this, 1 minute delay? I'm just trying to, think through that in terms of...
Yeah, so we need to we would need to be really mindful of the fact that there's a 2-minute delay or a minute and a half or whatever the delay time is.
Mm-hmm.
So we would turn on the live chat in advance of it. People could be comfortable with it. Also, some people will have to find their way there and understand what YouTube Q&A is. Another thing too is you can borrow from how Hangouts does it and just have a Q&A a form address. We could post that in the YouTube description too, so they can just click on a form and submit Q&A that way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be through live chat. We can just leave live chat off and not worry about that.
And then in that case, only the people, the people we set up as moderators see that question coming in.
Yeah. That also is kind of good because you don't want people to know live that their question's being ignored. That's been an issue already. Oh yeah, I have I think I invited myself to this meeting. This is gonna get weird here. I'm asking to join the room. I'm trying to make sure that non-SCAC people can join. So far, it's a really long delay until I see any sort of message that says, yes, you can join. But I don't know where that's going to exactly. Well, that's interesting.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we should also test with the screen share function.
Sure. Is that going to be on the table? Because it could get kind of weird. What do you imagine will be screen shared?
See how... Let's
I
see.
think, Percy, if anything's screen shared, am I correct in saying that might be an image of the artwork, of the document, from the gallery. It might be one of the panelists, like websites. It could just be like a kind of like, yeah, I guess, Josh, when the panelists do their presentations, they might want to present their screen to show like either Google Slides or images or their website. Would that be a possibility?
Yeah, let's find out. Let's play around with that. So,
Sorry, Josh.
what I'm trying to do now is you'll see in a second. Apology for if you have to see me. Oh, you don't have to see my zoomed in head because I have my camera muted. A window. Choppy, but can everyone see Zootopia?
Yeah, from my screen, but I'm still waiting because there's a delay from the YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Resolution rise is really clear, although it is kind of lacking a little bit. So it's like bit by bit by bit.
Oh yeah, video is just going to be terrible no matter what. Like it's really, I mean, even the presenter video is garbage. If we wanted to have video, and we are concerned, I mean, we are an arts institution, we should be concerned about quality of things like that. I'm just pulling it up now myself to watch on my phone. There's other options too. They just make it more complicated, right? Like I could switch to a live video feed through OBS and broadcast it directly from my end to YouTube and not into the Hangout session. So it's kind of gets in like sort of like a more of like a post-production-y sort of thing. It's still not showing on my screen. On my screen, oh, it's because I'm the presenter, right? So that's a good point. We need someone else.
I think there's a huge delay on my phone as well for the YouTube version.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. There's a big delay. Can someone else try presenting something? It doesn't have to be a cartoon.
Yeah.
It could be just your screen or a picture or something like that. Because, I mean, as you may know, when you're presenting something in Google Meet, the presenter doesn't actually see the thing. It just says, you're presenting. So that's what was being broadcast.
Here, I'll try to share my screen now.
Okay, so as soon as it catches up to the YouTube stream, we should see this, and then they'll give us a better idea of what it looks like on YouTube, not just in Hangouts.
There is a way for the presenter to see too. Like if I go back to the Google Meet and I click on in the right hand, that menu bar, presentation view, then I can also see the tab that I'm sharing in my Google Meet.
Yeah, the problem with doing that though is because it's really a fixed area I'm screencasting from. So if I do that, then I'll have to adjust it again live.
I see.
So keeping it as fluid as possible is kind of key. It's kind of bootleg, right? Like it's not, especially every time the view changes, you see it sort of distort and then go into the areas that you may or may not want to go.
Right. Back.
I think it's working. I still see it on the YouTube version.
I do think, though, personally, when you kind of seeing how this works, I don't know if going this way it would make sense to share screens because of the lag. I'm just thinking about that, like, I'm already potentially moved on talking about something else. Am I thinking about this right? Why someone else is seeing?
Yeah, it'll be difficult, right? Like it'll be if you're doing it within the screen share, it'll be real time for all the people in the screen share, right? They won't be paying attention to the YouTube, and everything else will just happen after that.
Right. Yeah. I see. So it still would match. Sorry, this is. I mean, with the lag, whatever's being presented, that's still matching up in real time with potentially the person talking about it. It's just happening later than it's happening for all of us.
Yeah, the whole thing is happening. We're all experiencing the same delay on the YouTube one.
Mm-hmm.
So the audience members will all see everything at effectively the same time. They'll just see it 15 seconds after all the participants do. And then now I'm going to put a picture of Pickles on the screen. I don't know why I chose that. So, there's options to sort of have more of a post-processing part of it done. So if you're watching the YouTube stream, I'll let you know when it jumps over there. It's still...
I see the pickles.
There we go, yeah.
And Josh, so if we go with this, move forward with it, so this is being hosted now live on your personal email. What would make sense in terms of who's hosting it and what email address?
So, we don't want people going to my private email address, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I don't ever comment on YouTube, but suppose I did. Suppose I put weird comments that we shouldn't have representing the school. We need a real non-Google group email address that has YouTube Live enabled on it. That can be, someone's personal email address, someone's personal SAIC email address should work just fine for that. You can create a YouTube account now to do that with. There's some options for it. We can talk through.
Yeah. I almost think, because I think, your point about not using your own is really smart. And I almost kind of feel like that might go for any of us, even including myself, that we have a site Google group email address, but maybe we need to work with school to set up a real site email address, hook up YouTube to it.
So what I think would actually recommend doing there for that, just because I'm a Google Groups administrator, and the reason why we do use Google Groups is because Central Admin has told us they absolutely will not give us real email addresses anymore for people.
Yeah.
So people that have had it, Student Financial Services or Admissions and the Help Desk and things like that have real email addresses, can keep them, although they're supposed to get rid of them in January.
Okay.
But, so what might work better than that, and kind of what everyone else has done for this sort of things, is to take your Google Group email address, use that to create a regular Gmail account, a non-SAIC Gmail account, and then set up a Sites YouTube channel or something like that. Is it Sites or just Site Galleries? How do you use the plural for that?
Site Galleries, yeah.
Cool.
It's confusing though, because we are called Site, and then all of the Google Groups and that language of microsites,
yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a 24-hour hold time on that. So if we want to create that YouTube, we should do it now, really.
And sorry, that's creating for YouTube.
So
that
what
would
we,
be from this email address.
I'm sorry, I'll just kind of start over. I think I missed what you're saying. What we should do is take the site's Google Group email address, use that to sign up for a regular Gmail account called like sitesyoutube@gmail.com, not at sac.edu or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just so in the regular free YouTube channel, and then immediately enable or enable the streaming abilities on it. Because then you'll have to you'll have to verify it, then it'll take 24 hours, and you have to re-verify it, and then it might take 24 hours from there. So we want to make sure we're ready by Monday so we can do a final test. And then you need to give me that login information to that email account. That way, it's separate from anything else, but if anyone forgets the password for it, the Google group, they can just be added to that Google group to get the password reset. You following me so far?
I'm so sorry. So we're creating a new YouTube, or we're using the one that site already has?
Site has a YouTube channel?
Yes.
Hey, all right. They don't have to,
All
right?
right.
But that YouTube channel, Fran, what email address is that connected to?
Ours. The site email.
But that's just a Google Group email, Josh. It's not like an actual.
But that's if you have a YouTube channel, that's all that matters.
Okay, cool.
And then there's I also made another one for us because Lindsay, do you remember at the beginning of last fall semester how to get that YouTube channel that Carly had made forever ago, and it took me forever to figure out how to do it. So I made another one that hasn't been used, but it's under our name, under like an email that sounds like site that we've never used.
Okay.
So it's not affiliated with the school, but it says like site gallery videos or something.
Okay, so it is what Josh is talking about. We have an email address that's like a site gallery email address that's a non-SAIC email address with a YouTube account already.
Correct, but it's never been used. It just exists.
Okay, I think that's good. Yeah. So then we would also use, like, one of us, Josh, could log into that email and host the Google Meet part via that email.
It doesn't really matter. The Google Meet part, I think you should just keep it as simple as possible. Like, use your personal email addresses for that, so it has your names, all that sort of stuff. You could totally do it the other way around. I would say we need to test it and make sure that non-EDU sites don't have the limitation on Hangouts times, so they can last longer than an hour. But really, there's no reason not to just use your own personal email address for that. Your personal SAIC email address for the actual Google Hangouts Meet. God, I hate these words. Because remember, like, this is, as much as it seems like we're adding this and then putting it on YouTube, we're really not. Like, this could be, I could have a camera going outside and putting it on YouTube. I could switch right now and let's just play around for a second and pop this out. I don't know why I'm demoing all this dumb stuff for you. So add a browser. Blah, blah, blah. That's not what I wanted. This is the part where I make everything infinitely more complicated and lose you guys. So, sorry in advance. So, as you'll see now, I'm instead broadcasting rainymood.com. So it's just a Firefox window. It doesn't matter if it's where it's coming from or not. But it does need to be something that and even more of a reason to broadcast from a separate one is you don't want me messing up your actual talk.
Mhm.
So I'll be on the Wednesday or Thursday, whenever the actual event is, I would be logged into the Site Galleries one. We'll have the settings adjusted, we'll have this sort of pre-configured with some scenes. And
Okay.
I think I can actually put it on low. I don't know why my voice just cracked there. I could put it on low latency mode too, but my home internet is like, ugh, it's not doing well lately. So I'd be concerned about lowering the latency time, which would then, decrease the delay time. It would be more or less instant for the audience and the Hangouts members.
Mhm.
But that will sacrifice video quality too.
And I have a question, Josh. What about the actual link to the YouTube? Would it be only enabled after the live?
No,
being
so
created?
I did this all when I woke up from a weird nightmare this morning at like 7. And I scheduled it for 11:55 to 2. I didn't set it to auto start or anything like that. You had to manually start it, but once you schedule your YouTube video, you then get a link. It's kind of hard to find, but you can find the link to it, and then that's how I paste it on the Google site to just make sure that we can copy and send it around without having to like, hello everyone, please go to this site now and look at the video on the moment up, which would obviously not work.
Yeah, Lindsay, apparently I'm asking this because for the
Yeah. So, Josh, when I met with the remote events committee last week, one thing Derek said is that we can't like any kind of. He recommended not posting any kind of URL to social media or like our website to join. That instead we'd have to take an RSVP thing. So like to set up an Eventbrite or a Google group form, people RSVP, and then we send the link out. I think maybe part of that was like if it was just going to be people joining like a regular Google Meet or Zoom call in terms of security issues. But I'm just
Was that Derek
curious
talking about it?
Yeah.
I'll text him in a second and figure out what he's talking about with that and see if we get some clarity on it. If it is if it's, you wouldn't want, if we're talking about a standard Hangout session, right? Obviously, we would not want people to know what it is until right before it. We don't want people spamming it. We don't want people taking it over or starting and stopping it. But if it's a question of just like making sure that we're not kind of acting as our own little rogue unit making our own stuff, then we need to make sure that's the case. We could totally set this sort of up and then send it to people minutes before or something like that. To me, that's uncomfortable just because, why?
Yeah.
Why would you not want people to have to... if I'm watching a webinar or something like that, I'm like, it's important to me. I want to make sure I'm there 15 minutes early, and I've adjusted my settings, and I've got my tea, and all that sort of stuff. And so that doesn't make sense to me, but I'll find out, and we'll go back to it. And, I don't know if you're in that, but Fran and Percy and I are going to meet Monday just to kind of go over last-minute stuff, and then get all the sort of marketing information together. Right, Fran?
Yeah. What time are you guys meeting Monday?
I think it's 3:30.
Okay, I'll try to come to that too.
Let me see. I think we schedule it 2:30.
Okay. So
I
Josh,
actually wonder if Lindsay, you're able to meet.
potentially. So this is something I'm thinking through. So Josh, the remote events committee needs me to report back kind of exact details in terms of the panel and logistics of this. I think they meet on Monday. I'm going to try to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm working kind of directly underneath the remote's working committee. we're
Okay.
we're gonna start setting up a second one that there's like the discussion one, and there's like the action group. So
Yeah.
Alex McHenry, who's in that meeting, that's my boss.
Okay.
So I already talked to her a little bit about this, and she's kind of given me, I wouldn't say carte blanche, but she's letting me kind of run what I want us to do and test some things out for this.
Great. That's great to know.
Obviously, I don't have any budget or anything like that to purchase anything, so it all has to be free and on my own time. Yeah, so feel free to, include me or suggest including me to talk about this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I could do 2 meetings at once if I need to, if it's during the same time.
Okay.
I know
Hey,
that.
Jeff, thank you so much for all your help with this.
Yeah, no problem. This is fun.
Yeah, like meeting on a weekend and stuff. Yeah, thank you.
This has been every weekend for like, I don't know. We did the VCS ones last weekend, and then the MA VCS the weekend before that, which is fine. I just take Thursdays off then instead.
Okay, I'm gonna try to just talk through this real quickly to make sure that I'm understanding everything.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Okay, so one of us probably, I would think, like myself or the site team, would be the host for the Google Meet.
Yes.
And we would invite the people who are presenting, so right, the artists and the panelists, but we would also invite to that Google Meet you, Josh, and the other site directors to kind of be not people talking and presenting, but on the back end of Google Meet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
People who should be, I would be careful about adding extra people to it, right? Just because I don't really know how much we can control. Like, I don't know if I can, on my side, so I'm going to remove Winnie right now. No, that might remove them from the call. What I want to do is just take someone out. I want to take them on. No, well, that's not right. I'm trying to do is sorry, I keep starting and stopping. I'm trying to edit the displays, so the grids of heads there. My concern then is we have 6 people in here. It's going to really take down the real estate. So any extra person in there might have to occupy their own little box with their thumb. Even if they're not broadcasting, they might just be their thumbnails.
Right, I see. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But it... Mm-hmm. So then, okay, so... And then you would set up for us through an OBS, sorry, the tech language is off.
Yeah, me too. I'm just learning as we go. So.
This through Site's non-SAC email for this Google Meet to be streamed live on YouTube. And we would invite people to see the YouTube by just sharing the YouTube URL link or the microsite link with them.
Yeah, they wouldn't ever be a part of the Google Hangout or the Google Meet.
Okay.
It'd be kept private, not shared. That way we don't have any intruders. It could be sort of managed and contained. I think one thing that's going to come up too as you're talking with us to the events group is, and this is a conversation that we keep having between like our action group, which is so far it's like Craig Downs, Jeff Pinnell, me, and Sean DeSantis and a couple other people, is that running OBS on a laptop is something that might not be available for an event. Just having the extra manpower for it. So I want to try this to see, so I can write something about what it's like to do this and how much technical knowledge it takes for me to run OBS and get this down there, and whether it's something I could put into a digestible thing so you can do it next time, or a member of your team. So just to make sure that that's clear to them too, is that this is not something that we're planning for every event. This is just to see if we can do this and sort of experiment with it a little bit. Since we have short notice, it's kind of, if we don't get anything, we don't do it, right? Right now, at least.
Okay. Cool. Josh, on your end from us, what needs to happen to move forward in the next 2 days?
So what would be really helpful, and at this point too, Fran and Winnie, I don't know how much you guys need to be here. If you're welcome to stay in here for us talk, but feel free to dip out if you don't want to. And I appreciate your help, Winnie. What I would love to have is like an event script. Just sort of like, it doesn't have to be anything professional. It doesn't have to be anything that's like in any like true form of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that says, start at this time, this person's going to talk, this is when it's going to go, then it's Q&A time, yada, yada, yada. And we get through that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I know what to expect and I can kind of be prepared for things a little bit.
Yep.
We need a splash screen sort of thing for when the event's not, for the YouTube video's not going. So before it starts, it'll display a thumbnail. And before anyone clicks play, it'll display a thumbnail. As you may have noticed, it's like a, I don't know, when I created my YouTube account 15 years ago, it would just show like a movie clip that I was watching. So we obviously don't want that.
Yeah.
In addition, determination of what you're going to do for Q&A, whether you want to use live chat or like a Google form, and then to get that Google form figured out.
Okay.
What's the participant list anyways? How many people are we talking about for this?
I think that's also something we as site and artists need to solidify today, but so it would definitely be Jenny, who is a panelist and also moderating, 2 panelists who probably wouldn't have SAIC email addresses, or I know one of them definitely won't. And then Percy, on your end, the artists who are going to actually be presenting and talking on the Google Meet. That's you, Caroline, right? Gabby, Winnie, Doreen?
Not Doreen.
Not Doreen. What about Ken?
Ken can. And not Natia.
Okay. So that's definitely 8 people. So there's 8 people, Josh, who would be like live presenting and talking.
Yeah, so eight talking heads. So we would be dealing with like a 4x4 grid, or a 4x4 grid.
Okay. And then would you be on the Google Meet too, or do you not need to be on the Google Meet?
Yeah, I would be on the Google Meet just like I am right now. So, but whoever is screen capturing in this case, and for the event, it'll be me. My head won't be up there. Well, I mean, it's in the corner, but I plan on editing that out.
Okay. And you're saying, Josh, right, that there's really, I guess I'm just wondering if there's any benefit for like myself or someone like Fran to be in the Google Meet in terms of, but I guess that's not necessary, right? Because Fran and I could still be moderators on YouTube of the live chat.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a question that we have right now, right? It's like how, if we have you and Fran up there, will that make it like a 5 and 5 grid, and will it make it really hard for people to view?
Mm-hmm. I guess I'm just trying to think if there is benefit to us being in the Google Meet, but I don't really know if there is, as long as we can still be moderators of the YouTube.
Yeah, and I mean, do you plan on ever, if something were to go awry, would you pop on and say, "Hey, here's a problem that we're having"?
Yeah, I guess that's a good thought. Yeah, I mean, I do think that there would be a little bit, there needs to be some like hosting and kind of emceeing of that, and maybe that's something Jenny or Caroline also takes. It could all, but Okay, so here's something I'm thinking through. Maybe Fran and I are invited to the Google Meet, but we don't join. But if for something like if things start like failing, we could join to jump in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I realized my camera was off while I'm talking. It should be able to pop in, and we want to make sure we test that if we have to. I think keeping a sort of secondary means of communication would be important too, like having like a chat room or something that's like a tech chat room or a Slack channel or something like that. So if like the YouTube stream wasn't working or I dropped out or something like that, or my microphone was on and I didn't know it. These are sort of considerations that we're all trying to figure out and plan for. I would say, in my experience of doing the VCS seminars, we used the Zoom webinar for that. But a big thing that was missing from that was a structure. And that people knowing when they can talk and when. And then, just having like this sort of like people had like giggles and like, are we live? Can people see us? And like the whole time people can see you. It's just there's no on or off for you. If your camera's on, they can see you. And it's it's their family members and things like that, so it's not a big deal. But some of the moderators weren't really aware of that.
Okay.
So having someone who's acting as an MC and as just sort of that's like, hello, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. You talk now. Well, thanks for talking now. Let's take a break. You talk now.
Yeah.
Is super crucial. If the participants that you have in mind already you don't think they'll be able to handle that or can't have a chance to practice doing that, then it might be valid for you to consider, yourself or Fran taking that role if possible. I would be terrible at it.
I feel like I'd also be really bad at that, but if I write myself a script, I can do it. Like trying to sound genuine. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah, I do. I know I'm nervous about it too, Fran, but doing it. But I do wonder if it would be good, since it is like co-hosted with Art History and Site, to have a presence from Site. Even
I'm Art History and Site.
You are both, but you know what I mean. So that it's also like our presence as Site is there too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. If you think that makes more sense.
Yeah. And then you're suggesting that there's some other, I see what you mean, like, I don't know what that is, but like, basically not via Google Meet, but there's like a chat that all of us, and like maybe me if I'm not in the Google Meet, but as a moderator watching, can like text to say like, hey, Fran, you're talking, but no one can hear you right now.
Yeah, or your volume just dropped, or your video went out, or things like that might not be aware of. We just did it through text message for the VCS thing, which was fine. We just like had all the SAIC participants, like the moderators and that. They just knew that like to have their phone sort of side view so they could see it if anyone texted them, and keep an eye out for. And I think that worked pretty well. I don't know if we need to go so far as to have like a separate chat room. And also, people are nervous when they're talking on camera, and no one is going to be able to look at their phone or like switch tabs or anything like that. And I think most of us won't have the luxury of 2 monitors anyways for this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would definitely work. I tried it once, and having the text as like a backup for emergency, everybody in a group text something like that, and then for the rest and speakers, they just focus on the screen. I think that worked really well. And having like Frank or Nancy, one of you to be the one who talk, it totally give like peace to our mind. So I think that will be like super helpful.
And like having 20 heads on screen really isn't that big of a deal. you can always tell who's talking, and if everyone's courteous and takes their time, I wonder how it'll. I think that'll be fine. I don't know. I would love to be able to test as much as possible. I realize we don't really have that option.
Yeah, I mean, so Percy, did you hear back from Sonia or Wen Yao about Tuesday meeting?
Yes, I already confirmed with everybody. We can meet on Tuesday, 10 in the morning. I just didn't confirm that because I wanted to do it after this meeting today. But we do. I confirmed that with Wen Yao, Sonia, and Jenny as well. So they all of the panelists, they are open to have a P meeting on next Tuesday, 10 in the morning.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm thinking through, Percy, and I don't know how best to do this because I also just, I mean, I think we have a lot of planning to do still, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. I think there's two things that need to happen with the panelists. There does need to be a conversation around, like, the content and this kind of, like, on our end, right, this, like, bullet point script. But then I don't know, Josh, I am thinking it would be great to do, even if it's not like the full version of everyone speaking, but a kind of test run of that structure.
Yeah, no, I mean, the more testing and the more familiarity everyone will have with this, including me, will be better.
So I guess I'm trying to think through, Percy, and our end, if it makes sense, rather than trying to do like two separate meetings with the panelists, that there's a half-hour conversation or 40 minutes first of just like panelists and artists, you guys getting to know each other, talking, but then maybe Josh and Fran and others of us after that conversation drop in for the second half of the meeting and we actually try to do a test of it.
Sure, that sounds great. Or on Tuesday, is that what we're thinking?
So, Josh,
Yeah.
would you have any availability Tuesday morning? Like, I am thinking, like, Percy, you set the meeting for 10 a.m., right?
Yes.
Like 10:45 or 11?
11 might be. Oh shit! What is this? 11 won't work for me. I could do 11:30 or 12, and I could do before 11. But I actually have a meeting on connecting this to Zoom at 11 with like art and tech and a couple of other areas.
Does like 10 work for you?
Yeah, 10 can work for me.
So Percy, what I'm wondering actually, because I'm thinking about our folks in Hong Kong and the time difference, I'm wondering if the ask for them could be that like the meeting actually starts at 9:30 for our like get to know you, go over content, and then at 10 do like a test run of the structure with Josh.
Yeah, and I can set, as long as I have all the information set up beforehand, like what account it is, the streaming link, and all that sort of stuff, I can set that up at like 8 or 9. I just have like a training classes from 9 to 2 on Tuesday, but I could skip in and out of those.
Okay.
Ask to see if everybody okay to come 30 minutes early. But if that's not the case, I think maybe we can still do it at 10, but maybe do the structure we first. Lindsay?
It could, if that's what needs to happen. I do really think that you all need to connect with the panelists also as people and talk about like the content of the panel, right?
Okay.
Before we jump into then testing it with the media.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Yeah, sure. I will find out. But what I'm concerned is everybody's time, availability. So,
I think for the
I will find out.
I think Percy, for the 9:30 conversation, it's most important that it's the 3 panelists, you and Caroline, and then it's like, and myself. And then if it's the other artists who are like participating in the conversation part, can be Water can join, or if Fran and Joelle is available to join. But I think it's like panelists, you and Caroline. I guess actually, Fran, it is really important for you to be there if you're going to be in the MC role too. And yeah, if they can't make 9:30 work, we'll figure out how to do it the other way around, or yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I'll let you know. I can find out
Okay.
today. I mean, right now, but
Okay.
later on today, I think I should get an answer from all of them. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think then it makes sense, Josh, that like on our end, this like kind of to-do list was really helpful. That like we need to get this stuff solidified into you hopefully Monday morning prior to that Monday meeting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I need most of it just like before end of day Tuesday.
Okay.
Because really, I mean, you know, for the run through of it, I don't think I care as much. If I have to ask you in the middle of it, who cares, right? It's just a run through. But for the actual event, knowing like the timing of things, knowing that here's like 5 or 10 minutes of this, then the cue from this is that I'll say, okay, now we're panelists, yada yada.
Okay.
Just so I can follow along and kind of look out for anything that might be troublesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know, and we talked about this before, but do we know if we're going to allow the ability to present materials?
Okay.
I lost you. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry. Present materials through screen sharing.
Yeah. Because if that's the case, it might be helpful for me to do it directly in OBS instead of doing it in Hangouts. And then
Yeah.
we'll just have to allow for timing of it. And, you know, the moderator will just have to have like their phone open or something like that to be like, okay, here it is. And you can just sort of talk through that a little bit. I mean, it might be a lot to do, but with like about a minute delay, you might just have it scheduled, and I could just switch it over through a queue, and then, you know, there could be a sort of like a 40-second of, and what we're going to see here is the blah, blah, blahs, blah, 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 and it means blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of kill time a little bit until it runs, and then... But that's like a lot of coordination that might be just like, you know, a bomb for a pretty ad hoc event.
Yeah. I mean, I know that in some of our initial conversations, and when you hear Lucy jump in, there was that, I mean, I think there was the kind of thought or desire that it could be interesting to share screen because we are talking about artwork and to show images. I have a little, I don't know, I'm hearing what you're saying, Josh, and I'm wondering if it feels too complicated right now, and since we actually don't have a clear answer from I think the artists and panelists right now of like, yes, I definitely want to show this specific thing.
Well, I mean, if they are just showing still, I mean, if we limit it to only still images, it's really not a big deal to put still images through the Hangouts. It's really when it's video and audio that it messes everything up. So when you showed your spreadsheet, it was fine.
Fine. Yeah.
It knocks the view out of order a little bit. People might need to like calibrate a little bit when it goes back because it'll probably change the order of the participants again. But as long as everyone keeps away from terms like, oh, on so-and-so's left you have blah, 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 because it'll be very different from what you're seeing and what everyone else is seeing.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I do think we should limit screen sharing, and we can try to figure out if that is going to happen in the next couple days, but 2 images. Percy, Winnie, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I do think that it is possible to limit that just by kind of managing the expectations. Say speakers or artists who are going to say something, say each one will pick like 2 pictures or something like that. So like something very everybody follow a structure, and then we compile that into one still image, a document. Then a moderator can play it. I actually, when Josh, you were kind of playing the Pico picture through the YouTube channel, it was a lot clearer and smoother than sharing screen from Google
Definitely.
Hangout. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that Pico picture was cool, like smooth and clear. So if we have one thing that compiled and can be managed on that end, I think that's an advantage too.
Yeah, the problem with that though is it really does take a level of coordination that we need to have like a full run through,
Yeah.
and then I would need a day to practice it. And that it's just really maybe not something that we can rely on pulling off. If it's 1 or 2 images and it's really well timed, then totally we can make something work there. I'm getting better at the software, and there's like a kind of a scene switching ability where you can jump between like like different camera setups.
Mm-hmm.
Totally possible that we can do that. Yeah, I guess just if we do that, we need practice, and we need the room to mess up, I guess. I know that sounds terrible, but
Yeah.
that's kind of on you guys, though. If you're wanting to get wild with this and experiment, I'm totally there with you guys, and I'm willing to do whatever. But I want to appreciate that you guys work hard on this sort of stuff, and we need to set like some reasonable expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've had too much coffee. I just keep asking 2 questions for half a question.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think maybe, Percy, when you write to Sonia, Jenny, and Wen Yao today, maybe a question to ask them now is to say that, screen sharing, I don't know, sorry, I'm just trying to think through this. I think just trying to even see if they're thinking in their own heads right now that there's something they really want to share. I think that would also help us to know if they're thinking about that, or maybe they're not in their presentation.
But to ask them if they have anything, like a PowerPoint to share.
Yeah, I think it's like, letting them know that we're trying to still work through the technology, and with the turnaround, the capabilities to share images, is going to take some coordination. And that we're curious if they were already thinking about that and hoping to be able to have that capability to share an image during their presentation.
Okay, for sure.
Josh, other things from you?
Did you ask me a question? I'm sorry, I just heard it.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just wondering if there's anything else for you right now with all of us here that seems important to.
I guess the other thing too is, do you want any sort of branding constantly visible? Like, is there like a logo or anything you want in the corner of the screen?
That could be good. We could have the site logo.
Yeah.
And our history.
Yeah, send it over to me. There's a couple ways we could do it, right? We could just have if one of you guys is going to be a talking head, we could just have it as your background. So instead of a big F, it could just be that logo there the whole time, and they could speak through it. But otherwise, I can also do a layer over it, just like I did with the pickle image with the the background. I am not an SAIC student, and I have zero design capabilities. So if you send it over, just make sure it's like a transparency and things like that, because I would not be able to correct it.
I mean, if it's too much trouble, then I'd say don't worry about it.
But if you let's try it out, and we'll have it ready for the test run on Tuesday. We'll see what it looks like and axe it from there. If you want to.
All right, I'm pretty sure I have a transparent essay site logo. I don't know about art history though. Anyone have one lying around?
I might be able to look on the website too.
Yeah, it's just gonna.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
I can also just text the admin director and find out if they've got anything.
That's fine.
Yeah, it looks like they just use text for the most part for all of their. Look at like their flyers and things like that. It doesn't seem to be. Yeah, maybe just focus on the site one. We can just pop that on there. But then...
So now we're attempting to meet on Tuesday to work on the technology.
Right, did I misinterpret that, or was that true? That we're going to do the run through Tuesday?
Yeah, but still meeting. Did Percy and Fran and Josh, did you still want to meet tomorrow also?
Sunday?
Sorry, not tomorrow. All my days are blurring together in my head. Percy, you had mentioned a meeting on Monday.
Yeah, I think that's my meeting. I think that should happen, and I think that we should finalize some things to it. Maybe it doesn't have to be a meeting, but that's I think where we need to solidify what the URL is going to be, the account, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, that's true for the marketing.
Yeah.
So we will have a meeting on Monday and also meeting on Tuesday. And the event will be on Thursday. Okay, got it. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, the Monday one can just be a quick. I think we should, Fran, if you could send me over the YouTube account stuff before then, that might be cool.
Yeah, did we settle on the site YouTube account or the fake one that I made?
Probably the site one, right? If it has other stuff on there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll send you that stuff.
Do you know how do you log into that?
But for the meetup on Monday, I'm asking, should we meet up early? That you think it will be better?
Monday?
Early, yeah.
We don't have a lot of flexibility on that. We've worked
Okay.
all the time before.
We don't. In terms of logging in, you just go to YouTube and sign into the account with the Gmail and password that I'll send you.
What's the Gmail account? Verbally.
It's like, I'd have to look it up.
Is it
Site.
Sorry.
Site@edu or something? Hold on a second.
And I'm only pressing this because it would be really helpful to know whether it's an SAIC email address or our Gmail address.
It should be SAIC. It's sitegalleries@saic.edu.
All right. So let me find out what that is. This is me being an idiot. Is that IES or YS? Galleries. SITEGALLERIES.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. I'm just gonna look at my admin account and find out what kind of account this is, just to make sure we don't have any problems with turning on streaming for it or anything like that.
Okay.
So bear with me for a second.
Oh wait, no, I'm so sorry. Hold on. It's looks like I'm just logging on to YouTube through this account. It's just sitegalleries@gmail.com.
Hey, there we go. That makes more sense now. Cool.
Yep. So
That's actually less of a problem. That's great.
Okay.
I mean, that means we don't have to deal with any like school-wide restrictions to YouTube, which they are, and the guy that removes them is a pain in the ass.
Okay, great. So I'll send you that, and when I find the password, I'll send it to you too.
Cool.
And Monday's 2:30, right?
Yeah, and like my flexibility on that is I can move. I think we settled on that because that was like right in the middle of the block. I'm free 2:00 to till nighttime. I just have nothing in the mornings. We have an all staff meeting for my department, and then my chats with my boss and stuff. So if you can't do 2:30, 3:30, or 4:30, it's totally fine too.
2:30 works for me.
Yeah, do you know when you're meeting with the events working group?
I don't actually know. Do you know, Josh? I know they do weekly Monday, Wednesday, Friday meetings now, but I don't know if they're always the same time. I met with them 2 last week.
I have no idea. I've never been in one of those meetings. I just get like a hurried text message that's like, drop what you're doing to work on this every time my boss has one of those meetings. So.
Oh man, I feel you. That was my first time in it, so I have the same experience of not being in them, and then yeah.
Yeah,
I'll check with Trevor. I say let's keep our meeting at 2:30, and I'll just try to pop in and out when I can between our meeting, and if it happens to be the same hour, pop in at some point to remote events.
Cool. I think we're fine. Just get me the write out how the order of events and any kind of cues and things like that. Try to get Percy. Try to get a participant count. We'll do the test run then. Fran's gonna get me access to the YouTube account so I can set up a streaming link. And does site have a? Do you have a microsite for site, right, from the website? God.
Yeah.
Do you guys edit that yourself, or do you have Sean edit it for you?
We are pretty limited in what we can do, but we can put the link on there, and like the live stream can go on there too.
Yeah, so would that be like kind of the end goal? Put the live stream there?
I think so, yeah. And if people want to, maybe we'd have to indicate, like, if you want to chat in the chat, then go to actual YouTube.
Well, from my understanding, we're leaning more towards removing the Q&A from the chat, just because it might be too much of a time sink.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
But that's something that's TBD.
Yeah. Because I think the other option still is what you suggested, Josh, of like the chat just being turned on at certain points and not live the whole time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you can have a moment when you're like, announcing the Q&A about like, click this button to go into the, go to YouTube, and then you should see the chat function there. We can have, I was trying to think of how we could handle sort of live tech support for that. If people are like, I don't know how to get to that, but I guess if they can't get to that, just don't ask their question. No big deal. If they can't work YouTube, maybe we don't need their. No, that's terrible. Okay, everyone feel good so far?
Yeah.
I think we're ready to go.
Yeah.
We'll talk again on Monday. Well, I'm sure I'll be emailing back and forth in the meantime. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to me if you have a question or anything like that. I don't care. I'm not doing anything. If I can't answer you right now, I'll answer you in a little bit.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. See you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.